Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. We have some breakthrough news, and this is not hyperbole at all. This is really an absolutely brilliant strategy from President Trump, and it's so hilarious. The brilliance is also in the comedic value. I mean, this is one of the great things about Trump. He takes what Democrats and media think is like so sacred. He takes this kind of belief that, Washington has only the smartest people in the room. Robert Clausen, thank you. And he just upends the apple cart. It's so hilarious. He mocks them, even though they think they're mocking him. They think they're trying to undermine him. And then he just, it's like a judo or a wrestling move. White House plans letter daring Pelosi to hold a vote on impeachment. Axios. Now, I'm reading a Reuters article. This is absolutely hilarious. The White House is planning to send the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, a letter arguing that President Donald Trump can ignore lawmakers' demands until the full House votes formally to approve an impeachment inquiry. Oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh my God, this is so good. Oh, please this is hilarious. Okay, White House prepares a letter. Oh my God, let's get the Axios article. Where is the other? So I just read a Reuters article. If this is not the most hilarious move by President Trump, I mean, I don't know. If this is not the best thing that you've ever heard, this has to be. Where is this Axios article? Scoop. Trump letter dares Pelosi to hold vote on impeachment inquiry. Oh my God, this is so great. This is UFO talk. Trump will be reelected, and Joe Burrow will win the Heisman. Joe Burrow, LSU will also be national champions. All right, UFO talk, thank you. UFO talk, thank you. This is absolutely hilarious. I love this so much. I can't tell you how much I love this. This has to be, when it happens, has to be the biggest news. This is an Axios article right here. The White House is planning to send Speaker Nancy Pelosi a letter as soon as Friday, arguing that President Trump and his team can ignore lawmakers' demands until she holds a full House vote formally approving an impeachment inquiry. The Democrats are like, oh my God, he's the worst president of all time. Oh my God, how dare he do this? Oh my God. And they don't have the courage, the fortitude. They don't have the guts to just impeach. If they don't like Trump, go ahead and impeach Trump. What's stopping you? You own the House. Enough of these inquiries. And H.A. Tom Fitton said he thinks Hillary is running again. The sheep will follow. Thank you. Yes, another gentleman. Another gentleman on my H.A. Goodman's other channel, and I do read all the comments on both channels, but he told me the same thing. Yes, it is happening, ladies and gentlemen. It is happening, ladies and gentlemen. And I just, you know what? Mitch, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just that I am the only person from 2017. I called this 2 years prior to what's taking place. It's probably, not to pat myself on the back, but one of the biggest political calls, if not the biggest, in recent memory by anyone. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm just saying it's the truth. Nobody, absolutely nobody. The Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, nobody thought that Clinton would run, and I accurately predicted it, and I'm telling you, Madam Cyberhack, I'm telling you the Golden Moo will lose. The Golden Moo will lose. Again, it'll be absolutely hilarious. President Trump will win again, and I can only imagine his what he's I don't know. I can only imagine how he describes his second victory. Why it matters. By putting in writing the case that Trump and his supporters have been making verbally for days, the White House is preparing a court fight and arguing the public that its resistance to Congress requests is justified. Trump wants to force House Democrats in vulnerable races to be on record if they favor pursuing impeachment. My God, this has to be the most brilliant political move. This has to be, ladies and gentlemen, the most brilliant, absolutely brilliant political move of all time. This is Donald Trump is the Michael Jordan of politics. You can't stop him. You cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him. He is the Michael Jordan of politics. President Trump is the Michael Jordan of politics. He's the Babe Ruth of politics. You cannot stop this man. You cannot try to, because the thing is, his personality is what they find most offensive. Which I enjoy most of his personality. I enjoy his personality. It's hilarious to me. He's going up against corrupt intelligence officials. He's going up against a corrupt Democratic Party that cheated Bernie Sanders and then blamed Russia for cheating Bernie Sanders. He is honest in terms of what he wants. Record low Black and Latino unemployment. The unemployment rate for Hispanic and Latino men is below the national average. 3.1%. Go to the St. Louis Fed to 3.7%. He signed the First Step Act. He's a non-interventionist president that has the opposite foreign policy to Max Boot and Bill Kristol. And he's the first president to step foot in North Korea, begin détente between North and South Korea, a peace process, which is a lot more than what Madam Cyberhack and the administration, President Obama's administration presided over a failed NATO intervention in Libya that helped destroy the country. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the big AJ Cartman. This is the biggest news. Sarah, thank you. My God, ladies and gentlemen, he's daring them. He's saying, "Go impeach me. Do it. Do it already." It's just like, like you see like people at the bar, like, let me at him, let me at him, let me at him. You know what? You're lucky. You're lucky this person was in front of me, man. Let me at him. It's like, if you want to impeach President Trump, go ahead and do it. You have the House of Representatives. Do it. Nothing is stopping you, Democrats. Nothing is stopping you. Absolutely nothing is stopping the Democratic Party. Absolutely nothing. Except their lack of courage and their disingenuous and duplicitous nature. They are saying that President Trump, one Democrat said he should be in solitary confinement, which is hilarious. They're saying that he's the worst thing to happen, the worst president of all time. He worked with Russia, now he pressured the Ukraine, then impeach him. The Mueller probe shows obstruction, then impeach him. What's the problem? Because guess what? William Barr and John Durham, but mainly William Barr, is not, and I repeat, not going to uphold any legal threats from Congress. The congressional Democrats cannot go to William Barr and say, hey, you know what? You have to hold this person in contempt. You have to help us. You have to help us obtain. No, that was how much space for it? That was Jeff Sessions. It was Sessions who was like, how can I help you? Can I go ahead and make a special counsel? Then people on a message board will say, trust me. Yes, I love it. I can't wait. This is so amazing, ladies and gentlemen. He is asking them to do what they have bluffed and claimed they were going to do for the longest time. This hurts Democrats. And you know what will be absolutely hilarious? If he continually demands that they impeach him. Yes! Can you imagine? He's like, I'm waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting for you to impeach. Every day, every single day, he should just be like, waiting. You haven't impeached me yet. You haven't impeached. And the thing is, like, on social media, they're like, oh, yeah, President Trump has to be impeached. And this is, oh, my God. And he's committed so many criminal acts. He's broken so many statutes. Then what's the problem? Because I can assure you by now, if Clinton were president and the Republicans had the House, there would have, who knows? With people like Paul Ryan, who knows? But if it was Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, Doug Collins, Congressman Devin Nunes, more of the Trump Republicans, there would have already been, long ago, an impeachment vote. Because there would have been legal statutes that they could explain, hey, look, you know what? You cannot have servers. And don't think that Madam Cyberhack wouldn't have had her own private servers, not top secret servers where Trump put his conversation on. Private servers. Kurt Leonard. This isn't 4D chess. This is a 2D hammer. Yes. Carl's opinion. Good evening, Mr. Goodman mods in chat. Hello, Carl. Say hello to Cartman for us as well. Somebody said I look like the cartoon version of Cartman. But yeah, I think I do. You must respect my authority. Carl, thank you. Thank you as always. Carl's opinion, thank you as always. Kurt Leonard, thank you. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Republicans say the minority party can exert more influence over hearings and other aspects of an inquiry once it's formalized with a vote. By calling this an inquiry without holding a vote, Pelosi and Democratic committee chairman are having it both ways, one official said. So, worth noting, while a letter to Pelosi and committee chairman had been drafted, okay. Meanwhile, Pelosi maintains that there is, quote, no requirement under the Constitution or House rules or House precedent that the whole House vote before proceeding with an impeachment inquiry. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, my God. She doesn't want to impeach Trump. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So okay, you know who's apparently the biggest Trump supporter? Bigger than me, bigger than you? Apparently, the Speaker of the House is a much bigger Trump supporter than anyone would have thought. And this is just unbelievable because he has completely... Look, now you are looking... Now, what's going to take place after this is that they're going to constantly remind... you're going to see people on the left saying, wait a second... They're finally going to listen to me. Eventually, they'll come along, and they'll say, "Wait a second. This doesn't sound like a political party. If they're not going to impeach Trump, or they're waiting to impeach Trump to just spread the political and media onslaught out over like 5 or 6 months. And then Clinton is going to run, which we know Madam Cyberhack is going to run. We know that. And I am the only person who called that the past 2 years. People are going to say, wait a second. Wait a second. Is this a political machine like Tammany Hall? Or is this a political party that actually cares about the voices within its political party? They want Trump impeached. They won't even vote on Medicare for all. They won't even impeach Trump. They won't abolish ICE. They won't even vote on Green New Deal legislation. It's a resolution. Eric H526, thank you. I am Siler, hello. So wait a second, I don't understand something. I thought that President Trump was tearing this democracy apart. I thought that he was overturning established norms. I thought that he tried to work with Russia to hack the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. I thought that he was trying to obstruct the Mueller probe, obstruct justice. Aren't these all impeachable offenses? I mean, according to Democrats, of course they're not. But aren't, like, this is the thing. They talk a big game. Richard Lanning. Now Bannon thinks Hillary is going to run. Exactly. Thank you. Well, thank you, Richard. Thank you, Richard Banning. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, everyone's talking about it. And if everyone's talking about it, guess what? Madam Cyberhack, the Golden Moo, is also talking about it. Well, she's in 2017, In 2017, I wrote that she was going to run, and it's going to be 8 years of Trump. President Trump is going, I repeat, President Trump is going to defeat Hillary Clinton again in the 2020 election. All right? Now, you know, I'm actually more certain she's going to run, because she is, than that, but I'm telling you, there's a possibility that the Golden Moo wins. But, Amish Space Forces. But, you know, I think, ladies and gentlemen, that President Trump's going to win again. I called it in 2017. I said, get ready for 8 years of Trump. Sanderford! Problem, if they hold a vote, they actually have to list a cause. They say the evidence is obvious, but they're incapable of saying what it is. Exactly. Well, you know what they're probably going to do? They're probably going to bring up every failed propaganda spin all into one impeachment vote. So they'll say, oh, well, you know, he obstructed justice. You know, everything that you hear, they'll just say, oh, he did it, he was horrible, da-da-da. Trumpet news! Do you still think Joe and Hunter will not be brought up on charges? I don't think they will. I think what will happen is, Trumpet news, thank you. I think what will happen is that this is already erased, and Joe Biden is no longer he was never a viable candidate, okay? Clinton was always going to run, but in an alternate universe, which MSNBC and CNN and the Washington Post and New York Times believe is this universe, they've said that, well, Biden was the front runner and now he's not. I don't think that there's no way that his campaign is even viable. When Clinton enters the race, each of those candidates will be so wounded, and nobody has brought up Warren's failed DNA test. There's nobody that's brought up Warren's failed DNA test. Why is that? So, I mean, nobody has brought up the DNA test. Ex-Jet Tech, yes. So they haven't, if you look at, it's really interesting, ladies and gentlemen. You look at this farce, this theatrical performance, this play, and you say to yourself, okay, Warren has always been consistently on top, so why on earth hasn't anyone brought up the fact that she failed her DNA test? Wouldn't that be like, for example, if one of the candidates, for example, let's say Tulsi Gabbard did this. If Tulsi Gabbard had engaged in that, oh my God, they would have never stopped. They would have tried to do everything possible to undermine Tulsi Gabbard. But it's Warren, so they don't bring it up. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I mean, I do get it. I understand it. And the reason is this. The reason is they have absolutely no incentive. No incentive at this moment. Maybe next week, maybe tomorrow, or this after this weekend, or next month. Maybe they'll then bring up Warren's issues. But, I mean, it's so hilarious. Clinton's going to enter the race completely and utterly unopposed. People, I was, up until recently, I'm now no party affiliation. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a Trump supporter. I support President Trump against corrupt, unelected officials like John O'Brien. John O'Brien wants William Barr to end the investigation. Carl's opinion. Thank you, Carl's opinion. Kurt Volker's testimony didn't give the Democrats what they expected or wanted. Did you notice that Adam Schiff, who was always hogging the camera and microphone, was not on any of the evening shows on MSNBC tonight? Exactly. You know, Carl's opinion, thank you so very much. Carl's opinion, this is, okay, let's say, I'm going to give a football analogy now, okay? Carl's opinion, all 745 people. If you have the great Walter Payton in the backfield, if you have Adrian Peterson, if you have the great Earl Campbell, if you have the great Jim Brown, if you have Marcus Allen, if you have a Hall of Fame running back in the backfield, and you run up the middle, and you keep doing that throughout the game, and maybe in the first quarter they stop the run, but you can rest assured in the fourth quarter they're not going to stop that, because if you have a good running back and you keep feeding this running back the ball, keep feeding him the ball, he's going to eventually break loose and take it to the house, and he's going to rack up yards eventually. That's the whole point of a running game, to tire the defense. And if you have a good running back, you could it doesn't matter if the opposing team's stopping the run in the first or even the second quarter. You got to continue with what got you to whatever championship game. Now, if your running back is Jerry Nadler, you ain't gonna if Jerry Nadler gets stopped by Mike Singletary, okay, in the first quarter, you can rest assured that he's going to get stopped in the fourth quarter. If you don't have a good running back, it's not like suddenly he's going to become a great running back in the fourth quarter. So what's my long-winded point? They don't have anything. They keep on running these plays. They don't have a bread and butter play. So they went from Russia to now the Ukraine. Before it was obstruction, then it was taxes, then it was Stormy, then it was Michael Cohen, then it was some anonymous person in the New York Times, then it was his tweets, then it was his personality, then he was, of course, a horrible human being, then it was unpresidential. Before that, it was originally unpresidential. I mean, they have nothing. What do they have? What do they have? They have nothing. They don't have, President Trump has his value system. He's focused, he doesn't care about how he portrays himself. He cares about how the economy is working for all Americans. No matter what your ethnicity or race or who you are as a human being, he wants the economy to be good. He's going up against John O'Brien, who, by the way, John Brennan said, oh yeah, William Barr has to stop this nonsense. And John Durham contacted Brennan. He's like, bruh, John Durham contacted me. Huh. You think I would speak to him? I mean, the roof's caving in. Now the media, by the way, is not so passionate about protecting their cherished Trump worked with Russia nonsense. Michael Lee. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that, everyone? Carl's opinion, thank you. As always, thank you, Carl. Thank you. Have you noticed that they're not that interested? Say you have Andrew McCabe and James Comey. They're like, well, we wrote books on the issue. They're like, well, we already wrote books on it, so what's the problem here? We already wrote a book on this. I mean, do you really need to, continue with this investigation? We already wrote a book on it. I mean, what else do you want? It's like, no, actually, we're not going to read your book, James Comey. No. Actually, I was almost about to buy Comey's book, and I found what I wanted, where he admits that Clinton was using. I might have to buy his book just so you don't have to, and read it. He admits to Clinton using. I love the title, Higher Loyalty. But he admits to Clinton using an AT&T email address. So this is absolutely hilarious, people. This is absolutely hilarious. I think that at this moment right now, the only person that is never viable, Clinton was always going to run, like I called it, 2 years. I was not to pat myself on the back, I was the only one with binoculars looking 2 years ahead, and nobody thought it was possible. I'm telling you, she's going to lose again. For the same reasons I wrote about in the Hill, the Huffington Post, and Salon. But whatever, it doesn't matter. And in the Federalist. And in the Daily Caller. But Clinton is going to lose again. She's going to run, and she's just going to pick the best time possible to run. There will be a What Happened 5. 2024 is around the corner, people. Oh, don't think all 800 people watching this right now. Okay, do not think that Clinton is not going to run again in 2024, because she will. The Democratic Party doesn't exist. And I do believe that people will get indicted, a great many, including Madam Cyberhack, after the election. But because you just can't commit that many crimes. And people say, oh, well, that'll never happen. Yeah, well, you know what? People said also that Clinton will never lose and that she wouldn't run again. And I said both, that she would lose and she'd run again. And eventually, the roof's going to cave in on all this corruption. But 2024 is around the corner, and it doesn't matter what happens, whether she gets indicted or not indicted or whatever. She's going to run in 2024. Maybe she won't run in 2028. Maybe after a third presidential loss. Because they're saying she only lost once. Yeah, she only lost. Well, I mean, they're counting losing to President Obama in 2008, which is a loss. And they're counting losing to President Trump, which is a loss. This will be technically a third loss. No, yeah. Third loss. Well, I mean, you could say fourth loss. If it was a fair primary, you better believe that Bernie would have won. But anyway. Axios, Trump letter dares Pelosi to hold vote on impeachment inquiry. The White House is planning to send Speaker Nancy Pelosi a letter as soon as Friday, arguing that President Trump and his team can ignore lawmakers' demands until she holds a full House vote formally approving an impeachment inquiry. So, look. This is hilarious. Pelosi wants to Democrats do not want, they want the cloud hanging above President Trump. They don't want to impeach him. And he's forcing an impeachment. And he's saying, look, you know what? Do what you have to do. Otherwise, William Barr is not going to back you up. Well, he'll never back the Democrats up, but he's not going to, absolutely not going to abide by any of their requests. This is really hilarious in so many ways. I love this. I love this. So, this is so great. Let's see. They're trying to get him on a phone conversation, which is so ridiculous. They tried to get him on a dossier that Clinton purchased. You know, it'll be really interesting. It'll be really interesting, whatever it is that justifies Clinton running again, because she's going to run again. She's going to run again, obviously, and I called this, but it'll be interesting. What is the excuse? What is the pretext? What is the ultimate reason that gets Clinton in to where she says, I'm back? George Rivera Jr. Do you think that this whistleblower is an actual person or a fiction? No, Georgia. I think he or she is a person who worked for John O'Brien. What a great person! Speak truth to power. I think that this person, Claude, no. George, I think, thank you very much, as always, George. I think that it's just somebody, an operative, an intelligence community operative, a Democratic Party operative. These are people who the media never, ever, ever. The media doesn't, the United States of America doesn't really have an independent media. Maybe in the beginning of the country, it was somewhat independent. But you're talking about towards what, the late 1800s to now. Maybe in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. Even though if you listen to Noam Chomsky, it was never, ever, ever, ever independent. But you had more of a push for truth at least then, than now. Now it's all public relations. This is what George Orwell talked about. This is all public relations. Sandiford! So George Rivera Jr., that person is an operative, not like, a John Kiriakou or Jeffrey Sterling type person. Standiford! Eugene Debs ran from a prison cell in 1912. Exactly. No reason Clinton could... Yep. Mind you, Debs lost. That's right. Sandiford, thank you. Sandiford, thank you. Yeah. I tell you what, I think that... I think this is going to be one of the most divisive and difficult times politically. Trump to Pelosi. I'm your Huckleberry. QB. I think that this is going to be a very chaotic election. I think that Democrats and Clinton, they're going to lose again. I think what's going to happen, though, is that it's just a matter of what the media and the remnants of Comey and Strzok and McCabe and Clapper, the remnants of their influence within these wonderful intelligence communities that just happen to never get anything right. Trump, my only advice to President Trump is go on the offensive at all times. Go on the offensive at all times. Because he's more on the, this is forcing an impeachment vote. That's great. But he has to continually go on the offensive. Now, I guess, William Barr and John Durham are investigating. That's good. But, he has to continually, just go on the offensive. Take the initiative. Carl's opinion! McCabe, quote, I explain everything in my book. That's right. What about the meeting with Lisa Page and Bruce Orr? That's hilarious. When Orr told you the dossier was opposition research and should be vetted before you use it, McCabe, who is Bruce Orr? Oh, my God. That's right. Oh, my God. Well, you're talking about a guy who lied 3 times under oath, so. Carl's opinion. Oh, my God. It's never ending. It is never ending. It's just never ending with Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, all of them. Sword of the Spirit, thank you. Thank you, Sword of the Spirit, thank you. Carl's opinion. It's unbelievable. Also, there's a hubris to them. There's an arrogance and a hubris, like almost as if they don't think that they think they're impervious. They think they're impervious to any consequences. It is going to be, in addition to Clinton running, which will be a media, they are going to embrace Madam Cyberhack like you have it'll be like a Beatles reunion tour. It'll be like the Beatles in the 60s. On Ed Sullivan. They'll be like, oh my God, she's so amazing. And anyone on the left that dares act like me, oh my God. And trust me, I'm going to be the biggest Hillary Clinton supporter on YouTube. Okay? Do you understand? Because I went out on many limbs in 2016 in the Hill, the Huffington Post, and the Salon. I got many hit pieces. And I got many people focusing on trying to silence me, and my voice only increased. And my channel and my writing and everything else, it was only better because they tried to kind of knock me out of the picture, but I just, like a little gnat, like they couldn't swat me away. And instead of silencing me, my voice grew stronger. Your voice grew stronger. And now their worst nightmare is coming, and they better not, because I'm like Freddy Krueger. Oh, I'm like Freddy. Oh, they better enjoy the bad dream. No. You don't get to. If you're on the left, and I don't care if you have a little rose icon on your profile or whatever, you don't get to, Clinton's not a... No. You embrace the person who's done so much for the Democratic Party. Because when I was saying that a certain that Hillary was unelectable, they made a big issue. Oh my God, it was blasphemy. I was a heretic. I was engaging in blasphemous speech. Eric, thank you. And they didn't want, they wanted to silence even like, I don't want to get into it, an editor came out of the woodwork for some reason and then disparaged me. As her former publication reached out to me and was publishing me every day in 2016. People are going to realize that I was right in 2016 on the left. If you're a Trump supporter, you're going to enjoy this. It's just a matter of the only thing that is somewhat concerning, that concerns me just a little bit, is what media and the corrupt intelligence officials, media, the Democratic Party, what they'll do to just spin a narrative against Trump. It only concerns me, the temper tantrum. It's really a temper tantrum. The only thing I'm worried about is a temper tantrum. I don't know, the type of temper tantrum they're going to engage in, because we've already seen. I am Sylar, yes. Exactly. We've seen what they did with the whole Trump worked with Russia. We've seen all of this. But who knows exactly, what they're entirely capable of. So all about me, Boomer. Thank you. I just think that once Clinton runs, we're going to get a situation where the media can do one of two things. I don't know how exactly they're going to react, and I'm assuming they're going to be like, "Oh my God, I love it! This is so great! We missed you." We missed you. We missed you. We missed you. We missed you. Or they'll be like, "Oh, we missed you." Or they'll be like, gosh, can the Madam Cyberhack defeat Trump? And there'll be like some pushback. But that pushback will be swiftly, because Democrats fall in line. The difference, like Trump supporters, independents, a lot of conservatives. Look, I'm telling you right now, if Trump engaged with what President Obama and his vice president and his Secretary of State Clinton, what they engaged in a failed NATO intervention that ended up destroying a country called Libya, if Trump engages in that, I'm not going to support President Trump. Like, if God forbid that happens before the election, I won't vote for him. But I know that's not going to happen because, his thing is that he's not going to be pushed into a military quagmire. But Democrats don't have that, Democrats don't have that kind of independence. What the issue with Democrats is that if the New York Times and the Washington Post says, you will vote for Hillary, she is the best, they'll be like, but I will vote for Hillary, she is the best. You will vote for Madam Cyberhack, you have no choice, and you will enjoy it. And when she loses in 2020, you will vote for the Golden Muumuu in 2024. But no, I will vote for the Golden Muumuu in 2020 and 2024. That's the Democrat. Even the ones who are I'm only talking about people who don't like me. Not talking about people who are genuinely interested in Medicare for all. I'm not talking about people who are generally interested in Medicare for all. But I'm talking about the people who are like, Medicare for all, man, yeah. And then the people who are like the phony Bernie supporters and the phony, or they have the funny names and they have the rose icon on Twitter. They're going to be like, Clinton, oh my God. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah. And then they'll be like, I'm voting for Clinton. It's better than Orange Monster. And they're going to all vote for Madam Cyberhack. It doesn't take much. Do you understand? It doesn't take much. And I'm telling you, 2024, Clinton is going to run again. I'm telling you. And there will be 20 to 30 million people who will have no problem. And, voting again. They don't care. Look, you got to understand something. They do not care if they lose. I'm going to repeat myself again and again and again. A lot of the people who said, oh, she's not running, I said, no, she's running. And now we all know she's running. Everyone's talking about it. But they said, well, she loses again. And I would say, well, they don't care. Now, do they? Why do they? Why would you think they cared about losing? You're talking about the equivalent of Jonestown. They don't care what the punch tastes like. It's not like, an issue here. You're talking about people who are going to, for whatever reason, vote for Clinton in 2020 and 2024, and they'll never stop. They have convinced themselves that Trump is the worst human being who has ever existed. And they've convinced themselves that they know that the Democrats are powerless, really, to go up against Trump. And they don't really care, you understand, if they lose, because it's not about losing or winning. It's about being on one team. Like I said, if President Trump's foreign policy suddenly Max Boot and Bill Kristol loved his foreign policy, like they did with Clinton's foreign policy, I would then not vote for President Trump. But President Trump has the antithesis of the Max Boot, Bill Kristol, or at least the opposite in many ways. So, I'm not beholden to President Trump. I like what he's doing in terms of foreign policy, in terms of the economy, in terms of going up against corrupt intel officials. I like what he's doing. The media, we knew from the DNC emails, we knew that the media and Democrats, and then we found out eventually intelligence officials, or we're all in on the same corrupt team. They keep on getting intercepted with a second left and getting the other team winning, and then they just say, you know what, it was Trump. You know what, Russians bought the football, and we have to do this all over again. Why do you think, ladies and gentlemen, you had 3 years of blaming Russia? Why do you think that? It's to pave the way. Everything was to pave the way. This was not by accident. This was absolutely not by accident. This was all essentially by design. Carl's opinion. President Obama, yes, right, on Angela Merkel's call. Surveillance on 20 Associated Press reporters' personal cell phones. Yep. The U.S. Senate. Yep. Impeachable offenses. Nah. Exactly. Well, they'll say, Carl's opinion, thank you. They'll say, well, it was Brennan. It was just John O'Brien. It wasn't the White House. It was just John O'Brien. There's always, separation and plausible deniability. Plausible deniability does not exist for Trump. Plausible deniability simply does not exist for Trump. If it's cash flowing to the Clinton Foundation, oh my God, how dare you? Don't you know that the Uranium One executives were just wonderful people? That's all they cared about. Irene Austin! Deborah Erickson is here. She's running again. Irene Austin! Thank you! Deborah Erickson is here. She's running it. Yes, Clinton is. Irene, thank you very, very, very much. Carl's opinion, thank you very, very, very much. Irene Austin, thank you. Thank you. Woke AF! Your work is righteous, HA. Have a good holy days. Tzedakah for Yom Kippur. Thank you so very much, Woke AF. Thank you. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated, Woke AF. Bourbon Man, thank you. Woke AF, thank you always for your kind words and especially for your generosity. And thank you so much. Irene Austin, thank you so very, very much. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Yes, you know what? Clinton is going to run again. Irene, thank you. Woke AF, thank you. It is, I just think that we are entering a new world in terms of media. I think that they're not going to know what to do with themselves. There's a certain, perhaps maybe 60 to 70%, maybe 80%, who knows, 70% of media actually thinks that the Democratic Party isn't a political machine. Maybe 60%. They'll have to be convinced, and it'll take about a week, that Clinton is the right choice. And they will be instantly convinced, but it'll be interesting to see, ladies and gentlemen. It will be interesting to see Woke AF and Irene Austin and Carl's opinion. It will be interesting to see, ladies and gentlemen, how long it takes for all the people who've condemned and judged and pontificated, for them to realize, hey, wait a second. Maybe this political side that I've been on isn't really interested in my opinions. Because you have to realize, if you're voting for the Democratic Party, you have to realize when Clinton runs again that your political opinions, and I say this with love and respect to progressives, not in a mean way, your opinions are not relevant to Democrats. And that's not in a mean way. I'm not trying to be insulting. Democrats do not care about Medicare for all. They do not care about a Green New Deal legislation. They don't. They bring up these terms to simply say, vote for us, because at least we'll get there one day. At least we'll we'll vote for these issues one day. We say all the right things. We have all the right organizations backing us. But they never vote on them. They don't ever vote on any of these issues. James Whalen! Hey, brother, it's the former James Jew. I won't know what that was. I just want 2 minutes in a room. I'll give them Philadelphia justice. James Whalen! James. Thank you, James. Thank you, James. You know what's it's interesting, too, because... They have, James, thank you so much. Valerie Rogers, don't overlook. Thank you. James, Woke AF, Irene, and Carl's opinion. They don't have anything that could really undermine President Trump. So what they do is they rely on media. And if the whole thing's nonsense regarding a phone call, that's irrelevant. Whether or not Trump worked with Russia, which of course he didn't, that's absurd. Who on earth would even believe that? Who on earth would believe John O'Brien when he's already lied under oath, as did James Clapper, as did recently James Comey? They don't have to be right or accurate. They can have, like, fact checkers only check certain facts that fit a narrative, but not look at the everything in aggregate. They don't look at stories. And how many times have stories been wrong? And they publish they publish a tiny retraction in the bottom of the story, where everyone has seen the story, everyone has seen the article. And then they'll publish a retraction in the bottom. I know that to the almost 1,000 people watching right now, and thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to repeat myself again, like I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of times. This is a political party that cheated Bernie Sanders. This is a political party that actually cheated a candidate in the primary, but then said it was fair and neutral. You cannot rebound from that. Kevin Kanzler! Kevin! They paid Steele for garbage, planted undercover agents, wiretapped the campaign, cooperated with the Aussies and Ukrainians, ransacked office of personal attorney, 3 years based on baloney. But phone calls are very... Kevin Kanzler, exactly. Exactly. It's all about the phone call. Kevin, Woke AF, Irene, James, Carl's opinion. It's all about the phone call. Don't you understand? The phone call is what this is all about. They are now focusing on a phone call. They don't have anything else. What happened to obstruction of justice? Does anybody remember obstruction of justice? Does anybody remember, they've given up on President Trump's tax returns. Or no, they haven't. I'm sorry. Or they have or they haven't. Tim, thank you. They cheated a presidential candidate in 2016 that embodied their, most idealistic beliefs, and America called their bluff. If you're in a poker game and you know the other person does not have a good hand, but he's just bluffing, he's pretending, he's fronting, he's just pretending. There's one of the great rappers of all time, MC Breed. He has a song, Ain't No Future in Your Frontin'. That's the only future Democrats know. Do you understand? That's the only future they know. Their new song is There Is a Future in Our Frontin'. There is a future in our pretending we're something we're not. Mannequin Wizard. HB, they're all frauds and need to... Yep. Mannequin Wizard, thank you. They don't need to. The way the Democratic Party works, they don't need to atone for any misdeeds. They don't need to atone for any sins. They don't care about cheating Bernie Sanders. In fact, it never happened. Because you know what took place? The DNC emails were hacked by Russia. But Clinton also won the popular vote. You see how that works? The Russians cheated Clinton, yet not enough to prevent her from winning the popular vote. And Clinton won the primary fair and square, but Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign because of the DNC emails, which were hacked by Russia, which still gave Clinton the popular vote, but for some reason in swing states, people really cared about the DNC emails, and they saw a lot of Facebook ads that not one person at the Washington Post, the New York Times, cable, not one person can give you a description of a Facebook ad that said, I'm voting for Trump because of this Facebook ad. Not one person. And it was a sophisticated campaign. What is sophisticated about buying advertising? What is sophisticated? And the ODNI and DHS reports come with warranty disclaimers that say such judgments might be wrong, verbatim. High confidence judgments and assessments might be wrong. They are telling you, ladies and gentlemen, they are telling you honestly, the only thing honest about corrupt intelligence officials is that they tell you without any, shame or embarrassment that they're not certain. They are not certain. Steph O.M., yes. Hello. They tell you they're not certain, and they expect media to write about everything they claim with certainty. They expect you to believe what they tell you, even though they're telling you in the fine print they're not certain. Mannequin Wizard, thank you. Carl's opinion! That's right. They're stating the IRS thing is thing again. A new, that's right. About to pressure regarding Trump's taxes. They came out tonight after the Volcker testimony. Went nowhere. Coincidence? Exactly. This is the hilarious thing. Carl's opinion. And almost 1,000 people. We're not talking about Jeffrey Sterling or John Kiriakou or Daniel Ellsberg. We're not talking about people who do speak truth to power. Exactly. Integrity 101. Our findings are not intended to imply that we have proof that shows something to be a fact. Exactly. In Carl's opinion, all they need is they don't have the corrupt intelligence chiefs, so they'll find people who worked for the corrupt intelligence chiefs. So the next best thing is they'll just find the next best thing. They don't have the intelligence officials, so they have the next best thing. We got 1,000 people. We just hit 1,000. Ladies and gentlemen, tell everybody you know that H.A. Goodman in 2017 in the Huffington Post, check out the article, Clinton 2020 is a reality, get ready for 8 years of Trump by H.A. Goodman. Yours truly. That was in 2017. It is below in every one of my pinned comments. And I learned right after the 2016 election that there is no Democratic Party. It's a political machine that runs around two people. It's an extension of Bill Clinton. That's right, it's my extension. Oh my God. We've been talking about my extension since the 90s. Bill Clinton and Madam Cyberhack. Clinton is going to run, like I said in 2017 and like I said in 2019 in the Times of Israel in my article. And, okay, eventually Clinton will lose to Trump again. Now, this is a cliff that they cannot, what was it? Rebel Without a Cause, that scene where the two cars are racing towards the cliff. The only difference being that Trump is not racing towards the cliff. He's like, why are you going so fast? I'm going to stop, right? I'm going to stop about 100 feet before that cliff. And Democrats are like, oh, yeah. It's like they're playing a game where they think they're winning. They still, the hubris, they still think that they're on top. Intellectually, morally. They don't realize that President Obama drank Flint water in a shameful publicity stunt. They don't realize that Democrats, their foreign policy is influenced and advocated by Max Boot and Bill Kristol and the same people who pushed for Bush's foreign policy. They don't really care. They don't understand that, if media was as influential as they think, there wouldn't be a Trump presidency. There would not be. Teresa King, thank you. There would not be a Trump presidency if media was as influential as they think. And now, Teresa, thank you. And now, Carl's Opinion and Kevin, Woke AF, James, Renee, everyone, all 1,025 people, he is trying to force them into their own alleged value system. Do you understand this? They have such a hollow illusion as a value system. They have no value system. All they do is judge and condemn. They're the most duplicitous, disingenuous people. This is a political party that it's an illusion. The Democratic Party is an illusion that serves only the purpose of a machine that it's essentially run by two people. And with all the hysteria and madness and maniacal, zeal and frenzy that Trump is the worst person of all time, and yet they still can't impeach him, where he has to actually push them and try to force them to impeach him. Because if they don't vote on impeachment, William Barr and the White House and Republicans are not going to comply. They will not comply unless they impeach the president. And they don't want to impeach the president because they want to string this out, because this is part of Clinton's campaign strategy. They had zero intention. They were never, ever, 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 ever serious about Warren or the former vice president who turned into a reptile on television and fought cornflakes and grape nuts and Frankenberry, everything. They had zero intention, and poor Bernie, they had no intention of letting him. They cheated him. If they cheated him in 2016, spent 3 years blaming Russia for letting the country know that they cheated him, they weren't going to let him this year. This entire thing has been a charade, a 3-year charade, where, in terms of U.S. history, President Trump has done a lot of great things. First Step Act, peace between North and South Korea, a lot of great things. But Democratic Party history, they've wasted. They've completely wasted 3 years. They have not done anything. What is an accomplishment? I can name 5 or 6 major accomplishments. Record low unemployment for President Trump. First president to step foot in North Korea. First Step Act. 500,000 manufacturing jobs. Got us out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Tell me an accomplishment Democrats have. They couldn't even. They're not even good at corruption. They're failures at criminality. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Thank you so very much to 1,056 people. I have H.A. Goodman's other channel. Check that out. Be here when Clinton officially announces. She's announced a million times, but whatever. Officially announces. Be on this channel. Tell your friends H.A. Goodman called Clinton running in 2017. And by the way, she'll lose again to Trump. But I have another channel, and it's ingeniously called H.A. Goodman's Other Channel. Check it out. I'm also trying to grow a sports channel. So let's get that to at least a couple thousand, and I'll get some content going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, God bless. To my super chat, thank you all so very, very much for your generosity and kindness. You help. You give me not only every incentive for these live streams, but you help keep me a completely independent voice, and I thank you very much. God bless everyone. Check out H.A. Goodman's Other Channel right now. It's in the pinned comment. Thank you.